Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker. Hopefully the rain isn't too loud. I apologise if you can hear it. There's not really a whole pile I can do about that. This is Ireland. Today what we're going to be doing is changing the air filter on my CBF1000. The lower fairing is already off because I just changed the oil and oil filter. If you want to see that, I'll put a link. Which side is? One of those places. So you can go look at that video. But first and foremost, this is a HFA1929 high flow air filter. So that's a good throw. That's what we're going to be putting on this bike today. And also we're going to have a look at changing the spark plugs. Now, a lot of people are concerned about the spark plugs in this bike. It looks like it's going to be a pain. But what I will be doing, just to give people a heads up, in case this isn't something you want to tackle the way I'm going to tackle it, I'm probably going to pretty much disassemble the top end of the bike. So fairings, I'll probably loosen them, not take them off completely. Going to take the tank off and I'm going to take the seat off because it'll just give me a lot more room to play with. What I could do, I'm going to be rebuilding the forks in this bike soon. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. I could have waited to take off the forks and then, you know, move the radiator out of the way, but I think what I'd like to do is do it. If this was yourselves at home doing this is how I would approach this, because looking at it, there's very little space, obviously to the front, so this fairing has to come off, and there's very little space above it, so I'm just thinking lifting the tank will give me that little bit more room. I might not take it off fully, we'll see. But yeah, if you want to see that, stay tuned. First things first, we're going to change that air filter because it looks pretty straightforward. So first things first, there's a size 5 Allen on my one. I know I changed these bolts. I think they're standard, they're something else, but for my bike I changed it to an Allen. So you need to take this out and carefully move this away here, and there's a little grommet up the top. So you want to pop that out. So that little grommet there. Just be careful with this because someone did break the tab off on the other side that I still have to fix. They did break that on me. Not a big deal. Then what you want to do is open these screws here, as far as I know. I hope I'm right. So then that just moves out of the way. There's only 3 screws and our air filter slides out. And it looks like I have been given the wrong air filter. So we will not be changing that today. It doesn't look too dirty anyway, but that's still how you change it. So what you actually need is a OC30T, I think, HMFMA. So obviously I'm just going to pop that back in till I can get one that's the correct size. So if anyone wants this one, I assume it's for the next model on, let me know and you can have it. So we'll pop that back in. What a massive disappointment. But that's okay. It still shows you all how you do it. It's that easy. It's literally it's a 5-minute job, if even. When you're putting back in these plastic screws, just turn them left until they drop into their treads. Otherwise, you will chew up the treads. They'll cut new ones in the plastic. So you want to just basically turn them counterclockwise until they fall into their old treads. So turn them. Hold on. So turn them counterclockwise like this, and then turn them clockwise when they fall into their treads. And you should feel that. It'll be like a little bump. It'll literally fall forward by like a mil when it falls into its tread. The other thing is these plastic screws down here, they do not need to be over tightened because they're plastic and there's big rubber gaskets and seals all around that, so you don't need to over tighten them and you'll just damage them if you do, so don't. We'll leave the cover off for now so that I can lift that tank easier. Okay, first what we're going to do is take off the seats. The front seat's secured by 2 bolts here and here, so I'm going to pop them out now. Now we can lift the tank. Okay, so upon closer inspection, I'm really not sure how much I'm going to show you of this because it's very tight in here. You don't actually need to take off the side fairings, just lift the tank and you should have enough space. So don't know how much you can see in here, but basically spark plug 4, if you go for left or right, is over here. That's quite easy to get to, as is spark plug 1. It's right there, also quite easy to get to. 2 and 3 are going to be a nightmare. There's no there's no way around that. So one of them is right in here. Like, I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see even now with me holding the camera. So one of them's in here, so you're going to have to, yeah, that number 2 looks the worst. I'm not sure I'm going to get that yet, but I will update you. I am going to get it. I'm going to have to remove these 2 certainly, and also probably a coil. The coils will move out of the way anyway. And then number 3 over here, it's blocked by this coolant hose, so I'm not opening that because coolant. And then these 2 breather hoses here, so there's one here. I'll just take that away and it should be okay. So this is going to be not a very visual one, because I don't know how in hell you could ever record this, but I'll show you me taking out number 4 anyway, which is going to be okay. So basically what you want to do is undo your coil cap and wriggle that out, and even that is extremely tight, so just protect your boot and everything else there, and then we should be able to get in there at that one, which is already bad enough. Yeah, this is not going to be fun. Yay! We got one out, and even that one was not fun. So these are CR8EH9s NGKs. So you can see the one I took out looks pretty good, not burning crazy anything. And then this is what I'm putting back in. So this is the iridium one, so it's supposed to last a lot longer, and it's a IM or 8C 9HES. So a little bit more expensive, but I said I'd invest because this is such a nightmare of a job to do. I just said, you know, why not do it once? Why not do it once with this lovely fancy spark plug? So that's what we're putting in there, and this is what we took out. And how I got it out overall was my camera's freaking out here. How I got it out was basically built a little kind of adjustable thing and took it out that way. So yeah, the rest of them are really not going to be fun, and I know that. But let's get this one back in there anyway, first and foremost. Okay, so that's tightening up. And the reason I tighten this up with my fingers is just to try not cross-thread it, and, you know, be as careful as possible. Okay, that's that one done. One down, 3 to go. The easiest one down. So now what I'm going to do is just play around and see can I figure this out, and then I will come back to you. Progress update. What I've done is I've gotten the second coil pack out. I'll try to get my phone there. But basically this little breather tube right here, this one, I don't know if you can see that. What I've done is I've taken that off and just moved it out, and I should hopefully have enough space now to wiggle in there with a tool and get that spark plug out. It's going to be incredibly difficult, so I'll let you know how it goes. Spark plug number 2 out, yay! If you don't have one of these magnetic tools, this job isn't doable. Just to throw that out there. And basically what I'm doing is building so this I dropped in first, okay? And then I dropped in this section, and I just kind of mangled my fingers in there to click them together, and then I twisted it till it sat onto the spark plug. Then I inserted this, and that is essentially, that's the contraption I removed it with. If you can remove it, you can get it back in. That's the way I look at it. So we're making progress, but my view, so essentially I'll try show you. My view is basically this. That is spark plug 2, and I just kind of mash my hand in to do the necessary. Then when I'm taking this fancy tool I created back out, essentially this part comes out, and then I drag these bits up, just pinch this on with my finger, pull this away to get clearance, and then wiggle this out like that. That is what I'm doing. It's incredibly difficult. Usually I would always say you can do most jobs yourself, but this is one you might just want to leave to a mechanic for your own sanity. So yeah, let's get that spark plug back in there now. We'll see, actually yeah, let's see how long it takes. So we're starting now. Done. So that took about 3 minutes to get that back in there. Not too bad. The other thing to remember when you're putting back in your actual coil plug, just when you're taking it out, be very careful, because I'm not going to show you, but it goes in and the actual lead is bent in a U, and that seems to be the only way to make it fit. So just to be aware of that. And they need to sit down with a click, which it's done. And now we want to fit back on our breather hose. Okay, breather hose in place, and now I just need to put back on the clip. I swear, I think Honda made this bike for the spark plugs never to be changed. Spark plug 1 and 2 done, and the coil plug sat back on. And it's really not very fun. But 2 done, 2 to go. So for a break after that last one, I'm going to do number 4 first. Or number 1 I should say. Because it's going to be a hell of a lot easier. Okay, so for the last one, I'm gonna probably have to move the camera away because access is limited. So I will come back to you if I get this damn thing done. Okay, so that's all 4 spark plugs changed, and all I will say is I don't know what the hell Honda were thinking of when they put that together. We'll talk through it in a minute once I've put everything back on, but just to show you actually. So once again, over here, space is at an absolutely massive premium, but this air hose and also this air hose down here that I'm wiggling, they connect on just, you can see that, but just in there's 2 ports that they connect onto. You have to disconnect them, and then you actually do have enough clearance. But again, you just have to build your own tools. This is what I use, just the joint in the middle. And for anyone asking, because I have been asked before, everything I just used is from this Halford's Pro set right here. I bought this years ago. It's done pretty much all these jobs for me. But sometimes I wonder, do Honda engineers just hate people? Because there's no need for that to be like that. There's definitely ways and means to map that out better. It feels like one of those things where, you know, one division designed the frame, one division designed the engine, and then they just had to kind of mash it together because it's just bad. It's just badly put together. But it's done, and it didn't take me too long. So we'll talk about it when I can sit down and have all this back together. So that is the job done, wrapped up as it were. They're my 4 old spark plugsies, and we must actually check, does the bike start? So all of these look pretty healthy. I don't see anything wrong with any of them, which is nice, because obviously unhealthy spark plugs means there's something else wrong. So all of them seem to be burning pretty much the same. One cylinder might be running slightly leaner than the other one, but you don't know, is that even the plug itself? Because these are quite old. There's 18,000 miles on these now. One thing we have to do is check, does the bike start, I suppose, before we call the job done. So let's check that. It'll start. My faith was not misplaced. So that's a lot of jobs done. So oil changed again, oil filter changed to a nice K&N one. Spark plugs changed to long life iridium, so this is good for another 10,000, 20,000 miles, I think. Is it 20,000 kilometers? I don't know, a long time anyway, which is good. I obviously have to change the air filter, so you saw how to change the air filter, but I didn't get to put in a new one because I had the wrong one. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we have a new chain and sprockets on this as well, and what I have next to do for myself is I have to redo the fork. So just give them a little bit of an overhaul, change the oil, change the seals. I'm probably going to throw in new springs as well, more suited to my weight. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments, or I can just do it quickly without showing you how. But that's up to you. If you want to see it, let me know. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If it was, again, please let me know in the comments. What I will say as a wrap up on this job, it's not actually hugely difficult. It's frustrating and it's a patience job. So all I used for this is a couple of tools from Halfords and a boot to hold up the tank. That's it. So literally a couple of Allen keys to take off the fairings, a couple of spanners to open the tank and stuff, and then, you know, those, what you would have seen me assembling to get out the spark plugs, and obviously the magnetic thing. You can do this yourself. Like if you were to buy all those tools that I just talked about, like you're not talking big money. And I have no idea how much they charge to change out these four, but probably a lot. So do I recommend doing this yourself? It really depends on you as a person. Are you a patient person? If so, go for it, why not? If you are someone who gets very frustrated very quickly, then maybe give this one a miss, because you could easily break things or thread these in wrong while you're going at this. And if you thread those wrong, it's gonna be a nightmare. And that engine, I don't think it would come out of that frame too easily. It'd be a bit of a it'd be a bit of work. So yeah, that's it really. But to be honest, do I think you couldn't do this? No, bit of patience, give yourself some time. I mean, I got everything done here, like oil filter, all that stuff done in about 2 hours, I think, total. And that was also attempting to video stuff. So, you know, that does add a bit of time. But you know, it's up to you. You know what's involved now. It is annoying, but if you lift the tank, loosen these off. You don't even need to take these side panels off fully. Just loosen them so that you don't break them when you're flexing them a bit, going in with your arms. And just take your time. Give yourself the clearance. Don't force anything. You will get this job done, and obviously save yourself quite a bit of money, because those iridium, if you put in the iridium spark plugs, they're really expensive but worth it. And also just to shout out Freeman Motorcycles here, because they got me all these parts, except the air filter. I bought that somewhere else, where I bought a few things, and literally everything I ordered from there was wrong, so I'm not going to shout them out. I ordered like my throttle cables, my clutch cable and stuff for the GSX-R. It was literally all wrong, so I'm going through Freeman from now on. They got everything right. And gave me a good price on stuff, which is nice. It's also nice to work with one particular place, give them support, and they'll look after you. That's how I've always found it. Obviously, if you're not local to me, probably doesn't make sense to go to Freeman, but find your own local people, physical people, and give them support, especially now, they all need you. But yeah, anyway, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate your attention, I really appreciate your time. I hope this video helped some of you, even if it was just so much as to decide, I am not doing that job, not now, not ever. But it is worth paying to get this done as well on the CBF. It's a fantastic bike, I love it to bits, and whenever I do change it, I will be sad. So yeah, as always, very special thank you to all of my patrons. I know some of you have CBFs, so hopefully you found this helpful. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Adios. Outro crew. Whoa, would you believe that I have more servicing to do? This is for my GSX-R. The GSX-R needs a little servicey poo after its last track day, so no rest for me. This is the problem with owning multiple bikes. You gotta do lots of bike stuff. But I'm okay with it because I love them. Bye.